Hello everybody. I will call a little about unit integration tests in Golang, and I will show you how to create a test and a application that is resilient to both the scenarios and why we can do it or we need to do it. So when we are working in a high throughput team, we need to do tests and code that performs well, and tests that make we secure to making deploy without test the whole application whatever change we do. So to improve it, we use the tests and unit tests and integration tests to maintain our application healthy and guarantee that all is working fine with minor changes. So a little about the difference between integration and unit tests. So here we have unit tests. What's unit tests? Unit tests are tests that only depend of the programming language. You can't install, for example, a Postgres or a Redis if your code use it. So you can't, if you have a microservices, you not need to run these microservices in your local machine to guarantee that these services are working well. So how is the problem of it is that I a little time ago I done a code that changed behavior in the system, and this changes was in a query. So I like to mock the HTTP requests and the Postgres requests too on my unit tests. So I have a mistake on select creation of my application. I forgot a O of a from, for example. And my unit tests are doing well, and when I made a deploy to our integrated environment, I got a error on my code. So if we work only with unit tests, it's a common mistake that can occur in teams. So how we can solve this kind of problem is on creation of integration tests. Integration tests is a kind of test that you not not need only the programming language to work. You need some sources of data to check if the code are correctly integrated. So how this works in practice? Instead of you mock this request, you go directly on Postgres here and do this job and check if the request is performing well. So how is the problem with it? Some frameworks like Rails, for example, the default of tests is all integrated tests. When you run the jobs, the database are already structured in your code to the these these unit tests run in Postgres. So like clean architecture and other and our structure literature, your database, your code do not should depend of framework of external sources to have that behavior. So this is a problem because of it. So why we can't use integration tests in Go and why we should use? Integration tests are heavily expensive compared with unit tests. So integration tests are more completely tests because tests are wholly application cycle. So how I like to measure it. For example, if I have 300 tests unit, I like to unit my 100% of coverage. So I can't need to test 100% of integration. I frequently need to test a query or a service or a behavior, or if a service are working well with the integration. So for 300 I have 20%, 20 tests. So this is a kind that you need to check and understand what's your scenario. The integration tests I like to run in a different workflow tool because is more common that integration tests fails. When you work only with internal dependencies like Postgres or Redis is okay. So when you work with external source, a partner, or another microservice, for example, it's common to this has failed with whatever network connection do. So I like to separate into GitHub workflows to do it. So now I will explain how we can do it, how we can separate, and a little about mock and unit tests, and a little about clean arc and isolate concerns in your application. So let's go. I already created a folder here. It's an empty folder, so I will init my application, Golang tests talk here. So I created my folder. Now, first of all, I like to test if my Go installation is working well. So I will start with package main. I will create my main function, and I will do a hello world because I love it. Go run main.go. Here I will increase my font size only to guarantee that will be readable. So let's go. I have a real world. What do we do next? I will create and I will only test for theory how I do external request to a source. So I have a REST package, okay, and I will use it because it's the package that I more like to use. So I will have here, I have a REST new, and I will do a get for example, https www.google.com, and I will print, and I will get it result. The result have a result, an error, so I will not check my error. So now I will print if result.status code be 200, it's success, otherwise it's failed. Okay, go run. I have not my package installed in this project, so I will go get and install. I will install my application. Okay, my application is working now. Probably, yeah, it's success. If I put a wrong request, not existing domain, it's failure. Okay, always working well for now. So what will you do next? I will create an interface to do this request. So here I want the behavior of keep alive my application. So I will create an internal package only that do this keep alive. How I will name it? I will create an internal request, and here I will create a request.go package request. So I have a request here, and I like to create a package to only contain my contracts. What's my contracts? My contracts is our interface. So I will create here my interface that is a string I will call like keep alive here, only to check if the service is up or down. Okay. So my request I will create a structure request. I will name struct. Okay, and here I close. So I will new request func. So I have a keep alive here. So now I have my logic here. So I will copy and paste it, and my return stats code equals 200 will be my return here. This can be a bold and not an error. Bold. Okay. So now I have an interface and a service that do this request. So Go is a compiled language, and to do mock tests or unit tests, we need to pass like dependence of my function or of my structure, and this is called dependence inversion principle. So how it works, I will do another function here like name it do. If I not like to mock or to have unit tests for my main function. Why my main function is normally integration tests only, because all that is set up on my main function is the structure that we'll be using in the real production application. So to inject dependencies, you need to create another concerns, another modules in your system, and other layers. So I will create here only to show how it works, a function. So it should be application layer, use case layer, whatever layer that makes sense in your application. So I will call like request client. I will REST client. I will pass contracts dot request sorry here. Now I will check here if do I copy it, and I check do if do here I will return a bool. If do here I have no, this request I will here will be the new request, sorry, and here I will get our request client and do the request of Keep Alive. So I think that it works. Should we look? Yes, success. So what's happening here? I have a function that receives as dependence the request interface. I not know why my VS Code is putting this S on all I do. So is request and not request. I'm fixing it and now all should works well. Okay. So okay, I have a working application. Now I need to do tests to it. I will start with integration tests. So how we can create integration tests. So I have my request here. I can create my main here. Oh, sorry, here. My contracts only will get contracts tests. Request integration tests.go here. Okay. I have my package request. So I have main test request integration, keep alive integration. I will call request keep alive integration the testing. Okay, I will not say like do, I will say like new request. So new request struct our request client, do a new request, and if I keep alive our Google, fail if not works. So I will run my test with go test and always working fine. If I broke my URL, I have some here got okay. So should I see what happening if request Copilot confused me here. Google okay, if request okay, if not okay, request keep alive, request google.com. Okay, I will put a wrong request, not fail, fail. What's happening here? Okay. Sorry. Here I got a URL, so here I not use this environment, so this variable. So obviously this change not works. So okay, now it's working. If success not fails, if not success fails. So we can use to something like trun to write this kind of scenario. So using the Copilot suggestion here, in Copilot will only probably suggest should not return, should return false. Copilot rocks. Okay, here it's working well. Probably I need to close my rects here. Okay, fail. The fail. If here I need to put a wrong domain dot whatever. Okay, I have integration test here. It's okay, working like expected. If I have error fail here or whatever, error treatment or whatever thing, I will not put more in my integration test because this is required to check if my integration is working. I can't use integration tests, or it's not recommended to use to test whatever if, because of obviously the cost of our test to do requests external to our providers in this example. So okay, now I will test my class here with unit tests. So how I do it? I will create a main test go. Here I have my package main. Okay, I will do test do t testing dot t. Okay, I have a test to do here. If I run my test, is working okay. So how I create a mock to inject here? If I use my new request, I will not mock this behavior. So to mock this behavior, we can create a mock structure. How we create a mock structure? We have a library that's called should I get here? Should I get here? We have a library that's called mockery. Where's my crown? Here, mockery Golang. This is most famous library to create mocks to your application. So how this mock works? We need to create a mockery YAML that you use to define how you can create the mocks of your application. Should I open my VS Code? I will here create this mockery YAML. Should use an example to help you to do the correct configuration. I already have here an example. I will use it with little changes. So now I will get my Go mods test talk. Okay. Here. Go test talk. Okay, it's working fine. And mockery have a problem that they not recognize if you send the whole version of Go, like with this .1. So I will remove it. And how we use this kind of mock? We have this some ways to generate these mocks for you. A language that is interpreted, you should not build these mock structures. So languages compiled like Go and Java, you need to create these mocks structure to use it, injecting as dependency of your functions to make your tests, unit tests. So I like to use a makefile to improve me in repetitive commands. So I would like to create all my projects have a makefile. I love makefile, and I like to use it for repetitive commands. If I run this command inside of my project, will read directly my mocker YAML and generate like my configs. So my mock name is my interface name, my file name is the name of my mock name, that will be my interface name.go. My output package will be a folder called mocks. So I will create a mocks folder here. Okay, So my package is Golang test talk. Okay, I will generate mock for all paths and Golang test talk internal request. My contracts are in contracts folder. I probably this will work. So now I will generate my mock. Make generate mocks. Will run a Docker, so my Docker is running too here. So look if it will be generated correctly. We got an error loading packages. Should look what's happening. Contracts interface, contracts here, mockery, contracts request. Okay. Request mocks. My folder was wrong, so it was the reason that my mock generation got error loading packages, so my package did not exist. So now my mock was generated, was in mocks folder, and we will use it to generate our mock tests. So how we can use it? I will create my mocks of request mock. So mock requests, we can use it. So we have a request mock, and how we use it. Now we use this mock to inject as dependency of this function call. So I have a do with request mock. Okay, if we only call it, what will happen? Should we look, go get test file? Okay, we need to install this dependency. Go test. Okay, all passed. Mocks here, contract has current contracts mock. Okay, all passed. So we are not doing no one expectations. So what we will do is to have true on request mock. So go look what will happen. Mocks request, that's fine. Mocks request, mocks request. This should fail. Should I look why not fails? Run, keep alive here. Spectre request, Spectre. Okay, request. Okay. Now what we can do is expect keep alive to Google return true. I will put false to check if that's okay. The test is not okay. We need to check why it. I think that is because of the name of our function that was not working. If we use the function name of test call that this is a test function. So like it is together, the do is not uppercase, this will not be recognized like a test. This is used because you can have helper functions. So if we comment this line, now our tests are broken, and is broken because we need to mock our keep alive function before to call it. So now we will return this mock, and now our mock are probably okay. So true, false, and now will be okay. So my mock here is working as required. So now we have a application with request. In our mocked request, we have our package that is not business rule that run integration tests to check our database queries and our connections. So now we are running this test. If I put go test, I am running all my testing files. So my integration tests are running with my unit tests here. Okay, what I will do now to isolate the tests, what I want. If I create a GitHub CI here, I will put here. I will send my repository to GitHub. So .github.workflows. Okay. I will create an workflow here called unit tests.yaml. Okay, unit tests YAML, and I will do a push. When I got a push, I will do run Ubuntu, setup go 1.21. Okay, go build and go test. Okay, so I have not git installed here. I will do a git setup. Here I will be my repositories and Golang test stock that I created before this stock. Here git clone no, I will use these comments to generate my first sprint. So if I commit whatever, I will done a push to min. So my code is here. Should we look if our workflow, I'm sorry, here is not dot workflows, is only workflows. So now all my workflow will run. My commit is here. Should we look if my workflow are running? Probably will pass. So we have a problem that our integration test and unit test is together, and I want in our call here objective to isolate the integration of unit tests to help the developer development cycle and to not impact in application problems of integration that can be discovered only in staging environments. So my workflow is working well. Unit test here, I have the tests and run all the tests. Okay, so how I separate it? Go have a called name build tags. So build tags is used to what? You use build tags, for example, to build applications and some features like for example, in this example, you have a basic, a free features of your application, you have pro features of your application, and you have enterprise features of your application. You can add some tags, like here is not updated with the latest way to do it. So you basically add a comment that is like a tag of your packages to load that package or not, depending of the command that you use to build the binary. this kind of feature can be used to our tests. So how we can do it is to put on your tests, that is unit tests, a tag like go build not integration. If you not put it, when you run your integration test, you will run your unit tests too. So all your tests is recommended to use this kind to be isolated your integration and unit test of your application. To be to run different what's happening, developer to access, I'm sorry, what's happening here? I started a debug, sorry for it, I not know what button I pressed. So okay, now if I done my go test, you will look interesting behavior here. Go test, okay, no test files on contrast, no test files on request. So in my request I have test files that so is integrated test files. So my Golang tags it's okay. So if I put our tags flag like integration, the scenario changes. I have no test file on my main folder, that is this test. So I have test file on my request folder module. So now I can have two pipelines, one pipeline only for integration tests and one pipeline only for unit tests, that unit tests is not integration tests. So how I do it in my workflows, I have unit tests here. These tests will already run only unit tests. So I will create an integration test, YAML here, okay. I have unit test here, I have my YAML test here. I will call like integration tests. Here I have my go test.t. I not need to done the build. So here I add my tags and I call like integration. I have other command that is interesting, so I will not do by its example, that we can add a run tag tool that will be a regex of run tests only with this word at my test. So is another way to do this kind of feature. So you can use integration in a unit test and should cause problems. So I like to use it too. So go build was the better solution for me right now. So if I done this application, I can have a great result. Should we look? I have my go test talk. Now I have two pipelines, a pipeline only with integration tests and a pipeline with unit tests that will run isolated tests. My unit test is normally faster, so the build is okay to do here, and my integration test is not so fast, so it's common to be isolated. So my integration test is CI, run the test and done the keep alive test integration, and my unit test not done that test and done my unit test with mock structure. So I think that is it. Is it that I are objective. Thank you for watching, and sorry for my bad English. I'm practicing. I will try to improve it. And thank you. Bye bye.